Okay.
Martin, you have some explaining to do.
I do have some explaining to do. So, a correction on the why did you call Addie a whale question from like episode 4. So, Anna and Addie told me that I got that scenario wrong, which to my defense, that situation happened over 6 months ago. So, the true reason why I called a 13-year-old at the time a whale.
It still sounds horrible.
Yeah, but again, she's very lean, tall, athletic. No,
Not a whale at all.
no, not a whale, and no sense of insecurities. So I felt comfortable making this joke. They came up to me while they were practicing, and they said, "Wow, one of my coaches." Hey, coach.
Wow, one of my coaches.
One of my coaches. No, they said, "Hey, coach, one of my friends just went whale watching." To which I said, "I'm whale watching right now." And she's like, "Ah." Which I think was a good comeback.
Yeah, for a good friend.
Yeah, but still, it's witty. I can't help. Look, when the jokes hit, Joey.
She's joining.
Oh,
She's
got
in a
something to say,
cuddle
Joey?
mood.
Oh.
Tell me
Yes.
that's not cute.
Welcome to episode 8, featuring Joey again.
Let's see. On the list today, we are talking about relationships, serving one another, coworker and teammates. Also, I'm assuming it's relationship based, and relationships within siblings and
Your kids. So,
our kid.
yeah, I wrote that down incorrectly-ish. We're just doing a deep dive on the arrows out perspective.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, talking about arrows out mentality within people who are in relationships, like not just friendships, but so weird because so many people watching this are teens. But anyways,
I know, but
the proper
who
way
knows?
to have a healthy relationship with an arrows
Actually,
out perspective.
Correction, because now my friends are watching it. So there are
Your
adults.
2 friends.
First of all, Savannah's going to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
You got Brittany and Shy.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. If you're watching this, let us know. Say, hey, attendance of 1 here. Anyways.
Like, subscribe.
Like and subscribe and share it to all your friends because we're
Yep.
professionals and we do this for a living.
Clearly.
Yeah. All do you know, this was our 3rd take, just doing the intro.
Yes, our brains are not working.
Yeah, I was on the phone on hold since 11:30 this morning with the IRS.
Love that.
Yep. So,
Adulting is fun. For all the kids watching, adulting is not fun.
yep.
Stay a kid. Man, stay a kid.
Yeah. 6 hours on hold just for them to not answer, and the lines are closed, so I got to call early tomorrow morning.
Yeah. Sounds like life. But
Only
on the upside, we get to
Yep,
go to
yep.
Hawaii this week.
Yes, we do.
Which
So by the time you're watching this, we will already have been back from Hawaii.
no, we fly back on Tuesday. We post on Monday.
No, we post on Wednesday, but this won't be posting until next Wednesday.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
So as I said, we will be back by the time you watch this.
Yes, we will.
So
Hopefully with a tan.
yes. You think we'll? Yeah.
You will.
I'll get tan. Yep.
My tan will be fake. So
Are you gonna do your fake tan before you go?
absolutely.
Okay.
Do you even have to ask?
So expand on your fake tan situation
Oh
for
my
those
gosh.
that want to know.
Okay, so for those of you guys who know our daughter, she's like the color of translucency. And she's a ginger, so she must have gotten it from somebody. And I know
she's
she got
this
it
color.
she definitely got it for me. I mean, I'll tan, but it takes me 2 weeks and a lot of sun damage. And the older I get, the more I could care less about the sun damage. So fake tan it is.
Sorry. As I was drinking that, I just can't help but think of all the TV shows and movies where people drink like this.
What?
How, like, I get that they have to do multiple takes, but how come it never looks natural when people drink things on a movie or a show?
I always see people drink it with two hands.
I just think of that scene from Harry Potter where, what's his name? The one who dates Ron's sister. He was in How to Make a Murder or How to Get Away with Murder. It's on the last movie.
When they're drinking the beer, the butter beer or something?
No. It's on the last movie after all the chaos happens and they're like, recap. He's like,
yeah, but his neck is like positioned super weird. It always has been.
okay.
Did you ever notice that? I'm not that I'm looking at your neck. No, but his neck is like he looks like he has a kink in his neck. You've never noticed that?
Yeah.
And he like can't turn to a certain side.
Yep.
So I don't know what it is, but
Even as an adult in How to Get Away with Murder? Okay.
oh yeah.
Well, he's got cervical spine scoliosis.
Who knows,
Cervical
honestly.
scoliosis.
You tell me, Mr. Kinesiology.
I thought scoliosis was only in the T-spine or lower back. I don't know.
I'm not a professional in that area.
Yep, not a chiropractor.
But
Anyways.
back to relationships and
Yes.
awareness, arrows out, all that fun stuff.
Yeah. So, very brief recap on arrows out. Meaning, as you go throughout life, are you self-centered? Meaning your arrows and your perspective is all focused on you and pointing inward and how you're feeling, how basically just self-centeredness in general. Or are you having an arrows out perspective, meaning understanding how your decisions, how well you manage your emotions, how all of that affects those around you, and how life is not just about yourself, not neglecting self,
Yeah.
but having a servant mentality.
I also think that the season of life that you're in too, we're like,
Me?
no,
Personally?
just we talked about this a little bit on our last podcast, but just like it does come down to awareness. But when you're just so caught up in your own bubble that you just don't really have a sense of like what other people around you are maybe going through.
Yeah. But
If that makes sense.
yeah,
I would
no, that's-
consider that to be like arrows out. Also.
having a touch on how,
Yeah, like just are you paying attention to am I in my bubble or am I not?
yeah, no, just the awareness in general. Like,
Yeah.
yes, everybody has their seasons and like everybody has those days.
Today is one of those days, honestly.
Yeah. But on a macro level, not micro, but bird's eye view is the health of your relationship. Just speaking on that aspect of it. Are you in a relationship or is the pace, whatever, the pulse of your relationship, is it based on your perspective? Is it based on what you get out of it or how well you love and serve the other person?
I see. And not even serving them in your own way, but how they need to be served.
Yes, and that's a good part of it too, is not just, we get the whole love language piece of it, but that can also be a trap in itself of like, well, my love language is this, so therefore I love you like this,
Yeah.
and I.
I think the labeling of everything can just get really
Yeah.
sticky.
Just the word I in general. If you feel like within your relationship, you are explaining everything from an I perspective, that automatically reveals that your arrows are pointed in.
Yes. So what situation in life would you say where you were like at peak arrows out? And like
Situation or season of life?
you could say season of life where like your awareness and your clarity was just so like refreshed and you had a sense of how everyone was pulsing and how you were serving the way they needed.
Honestly, every time we approach Encounter, which is like our church retreat where ironically it's called Encounter and we're talking about arrows out, but taking a reflection inward so that you can have a healthy perspective of how well you are externally loving others. Just trying to have a pulse of different roles that people have within our community and trying to meditate and pray on, like, honestly, just do I even have a pulse on what these people are experiencing? I claim that they're part of our family and that we have love for them, but am I ignorant to what they're going through? And so preparing for Encounter definitely magnifies the arrows out perspective of like, what is God showing me? Not necessarily like giving me a word for these people, but just am I living my role correctly? And when I live out my role, are other people being edified? I think edification is the
Can you
word.
define edification in your way, in your own way? So that,
Not based on Webster's dictionary, no.
what do you mean by edification?
Okay, meaning are people feeling uplifted versus torn down? Like, you can say like a compliment or whatever, but we all have those people in our lives or have had people in our lives where they tell us something and we can just tell that it's shallow and it's just for the sake of like, honestly,
Filling
for
it.
them to say it more than it is for you to hear it and be uplifted by it. So that's what I mean by edification, is just like this, for example, our goal at least is not to do this to hear ourselves talk or
I don't even rewatch it, honestly.
Well, I have to because the editing. But
Right.
I'm like, okay, I feel so, it's so weird because yes, part of it is like doing, okay, at 0 minutes it's this, at 5 minutes it's this, but tying back to edification is whether it be one person that sees it and has a nugget, it's not for the sake of us being like, see, look, we did something good, God, but just, so that if it happens, it happens. Somebody has a takeaway, great. But the goal of this is for other people to be edified and uplifted by the things that are said, not for us to be uplifting people.
Would you say that having arrows out is simple, complex? How do you do it?
Simple.
You think it's simple?
Yeah, not easy. That's the whole difference between simplicity and something being easy.
Okay.
So simply put, it's everything I just said. I don't want to try to, be so redundant on the words, but maybe you can expand on your question more.
Well, so just speaking from experience of like what season I'm in with arrows out, especially after my previous college season. And the whole reason why we coach again is I feel like we're both very gifted in having an arrows out perspective for people around us. And I'd say we're pretty good with kids. And now working in the college setting, I'm actually working with like younger adults stepping out of their families' households and trying to navigate that. Some of them are believers, some of them aren't. And it's kind of almost like stepping into like the real world. And it really took like a big punch to my gut this season where like I felt like I had to kind of guard my heart a little bit.
It's still a little swollen.
It's good one. Yeah.
I have the words right there of what everything is, but this gets in the way.
Well, you can label it.
Anyways, proceed.
Anyways.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
So I've had some really good arrows out relationships with some players on my team, and then I've had some relationships that just completely tanked. And it was utterly gut-wrenching for me. And I took it very personally.
So let's transition between coaching, like your coworkers, your teammates, because that we kind of tied in of like a overall perspective. And
Yeah.
since we're on the coaching and teammate aspect of it, go ahead.
Well, I mean, I don't even look at it as like coaching and teammate, but just having good conversations with.
Well, your work environment.
Yeah.
Your school environment.
Yeah. It when you talk to someone who's not necessarily open to the idea of you having such like a helpful relationship with them, and they shut you down, and it's very malicious and it's very aggressive and it's angry, and there's you can see like there's so many back end things happening in their lives that you can't control necessarily. How do you deal with that? Like there's so many factors affecting that person to make them angry. And the anger isn't necessarily towards you, but it's being they're going to take it out on you because you're willing to be vulnerable to have that arrows out relationship.
I see.
But you also, there's no faith guidance in that realm either. Because it's something that's new that just started. So it's like you're kind of just in like this awkward limbo. And are you actually helping that person or are you not? Are you loving them where they're at, or are you just kind of like is it hurting them more than helping them?
Got it. And that's a good piece of it is meeting them where they're at. And sometimes, like, I'm a tough love approach type person where like my version of meeting them where they're at look, I'm not like drill sergeant over here. I feel like the experiences that I've had have been tender at the right times, you know, but I think it comes down to finding people of peace, because no matter the intentions of an arrows out mindset or not within a coworker or, you know, companion type relationship, if somebody's in porcupine mode and no matter how close you get, they're just going to shoot those things at you.
Yeah.
Taking the hits is part of that perspective of, you know, meeting them where they're at.
Yeah. And it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks.
And I think to tie into last week's conversation, that's where the authenticity, transparency, and vulnerability tie in. Is you can't make it about you, because that's the tricky part of it.
Right.
Is you see somebody that's down, but you just, again, it just comes down to being authentic. Do you actually care, or you just not like the way that person's dealing with things and how it's affecting you? Are you trying to change them because you don't like the way it affects you? Or are you going to love on them and let that love either lead them to change or not? That's the piece of it.
Yeah, but then there's also the people that aren't really in that bubble of like wanting to change.
Yeah.
Yet.
Seasons, timing, the seeds planted.
Yeah. I got a big whopper of a smack in the face this year from that. And I was like, and taking 12 steps back.
Yeah.
And getting humbled a little bit.
Yep. So that covers like coworker, school aspect, teammate, job, work.
Yeah.
Like that's one level of a relationship.
Now we talk about siblings.
Well, do you think that we actually covered the partner relationship one, or do
like us?
Yeah, being in an actual loving relationship with somebody.
I mean, yeah, ours. We can either talk about it in like the dating lens or in the marriage lens because
Dating, marriage. Okay, serious relationship perspective. Let's put it there.
okay.
Because those that are, dating, heading, like once you, honestly, even at the beginning, is every part of, let's say it's an intentional pursuit of a romantic relationship.
Okay.
Arrows out perspective. Go.
Well, I just talked a lot, so you go.
Okay, well, I think early on, it's just what?
We didn't do our pickup lines.
Fine.
So since we're on
Before you get into a relationship and have an arrows out perspective, you got to know how to lay down some.
Oh my God.
You got to know how to spit some game first.
Which neither of us know.
No, clearly. 21 minutes into this conversation, we're like, wait a minute.
We forgot
We
the
got to do
pickup
pickup
line.
lines.
Addie's wheel story was really important.
Yeah, it was.
You're
Because
welcome, Addie.
they would not let.
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
they-
I know.
Yeah, I had to. They had a gun to my head.
Yeah, they did. And if you didn't say it, it would have been game over the next workout session.
Yep. Tomorrow would have been
Rough.
Yeah. Yep. Okay.
You have
Ladies
to tell
first.
yours. No, you
No,
have to.
no.
You have to tell yours first.
We've done you first from the beginning.
Yeah, but for the sake of mine,
Okay.
for the sake of my joke today.
That's fine. That's
Okay.
fine. That's fine. I'm fine adapting. See, I've got an arrows out perspective. It's not all about you. Okay? I'm willing to put myself second
Yeah.
so that your pickup line can actually go second.
Oh,
Yeah.
Martin.
Anyway. You ready for this? Mm-hmm. Girl, you're my crystal ball because I can see my future with you.
Martin, no.
I know.
No.
I know.
That is a hard no. That's a
I know.
1.
Yep. Hey, it's for the laughs, okay?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
I'm not saying it's working. I'm saying
I
it's
know.
corny and it's funny.
I just always picture, I'm like, if you try to pull this on the first day I met you,
No, never.
no way.
I'm more
Okay.
of the compliment and see if it works type.
You did not compliment. You didn't even talk
Okay.
to me. You passed a phone number to your sister.
First of all,
The first time we talked, I think the first time we talked, I had to give you papers to go to your prom. And you said, you got the papers? You didn't even get out of your car. You said, you got the papers? And I said, yeah, here you go. I dressed all cute that day. Didn't even get a hug. And then grabbed the papers and you sped off. Are you changing my voice?
I thought it was going to change your
Oh,
voice.
that's
but
rude.
it's gonna
Learn
make
your
it all
keyboard.
like whiny and yeah.
Me. But it's okay because I'm still here.
Yep. So since you want to go second, what's your pickup line?
Okay. You know what? Dang. You're just so good looking. I forgot my pickup line.
No. No.
That's better than your crystal ball.
Probably.
The delivery was smooth. Don't lie.
But the moment you said it, I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Did you really?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So
Back to arrows out on relationships.
Yep.
Serious relationships.
Serious relationships.
Let's see. Where do we start?
I can't get over. So please, kids, help us with our pickup lines because actually, so I asked some of the 13s about
Yeah.
it. And one in particular, I'm not going to name drop, but the whole, are you a state? Because you're the only 10 I see. She's like, are you Texas? Because you're the only 10 I see. I was like, what? Well, no, wait, coach. And she just
Oh,
missed
just
it
butched it.
like 5 different times.
She's talking about
And-
Tennessee.
Yeah.
There's no Riz.
God. Anyways.
Okay, arrows out within our or just in a relationship.
Yeah. So basically everything that the honeymoon phase is pretty much arrows out. So if you could
Do you
just
think so?
continue. No, well, okay. Maybe not.
I'm seeing it on
just-
you can elaborate because I see it on an entirely different perspective.
I mean, at the beginning, typically
Yeah.
you're just wanting to lift the other person up, make them feel good.
Yeah.
But are you saying that's coming from a like what you're doing perspective, or
I would say it comes from a little bit of a selfish want.
oh, to make them like you more?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Because I definitely did things early on in our honeymoon stage just because I was like, I really want him to like me.
I see.
And I didn't care if I changed who I was
Oh,
or like changed the way I talked or behaved or whatever it was because it was a honeymoon stage, if that makes sense.
got it.
And that's why when you get out of the honeymoon stage, a lot of couples after the
Fizzle
first year have arguments and they either break up or they stay together.
Yep.
So I'm seeing it on like when this relationship actually becomes serious, we get past all
Yeah.
the frou-frou-ness.
Yeah. Once
The
it
arrows
loses
out.
its taste.
Yeah. When things actually become boring, how do you maintain arrows out? Because we're totally in like the mundane space of like every day. But I could say arrows out easily. You do the dishes all the time. Always picks up my plate.
Oh, okay. Okay. You're saying the way that you experience me
Yes,
being
yes,
arrows
yes.
out.
I'm talking
I thought
about
you were
you,
saying,
not me.
This is how you. I was like, you
No.
never do the dishes.
No, the way I see you,
Okay.
like
Okay.
because you're totally like a service person. So
Yeah.
I noticed that your way of like showing your arrows out is things like that. Praying before we go to bed and leading our daughter in prayer. And it's just things like that all the time.
Got it.
Yeah. Not me. Sorry, I don't do dishes
Yeah.
ever.
No. No. No comment.
No comment.
Anyway. But yeah, I'd say being okay, being uncomfortable, so that the other person may feel loved. And this is not, again, we're not perfect in our relationship. We're just talking about what are signs that your relationship is healthy and has an arrows out perspective. Is that you're laying your life down for the other person.
Yeah.
Good?
Good.
More?
Not
Anything
unless
else?
not unless you want to share some arrows out things about me.
Here we go. Let me think.
I'm gonna put you on the spot,
Yep.
which is probably hard to think of because I'm so lazy.
Well,
these
also,
days.
I don't tend to keep track of things, good, bad, and I just live in the moment.
I don't think it's keeping track. It's just awareness.
Yeah. Okay. I guess I'm unaware.
You're
But-
unaware?
No. Okay. An area of which you've grown tremendously in understanding me in those seasons of like is the way that you lay your life down. Let's call it that. Is sounds so bad. Letting me have my fits. Or not being so reactive to like whenever I am
In a mood?
in a mood or quick tempered or like in just a go. Like just
I know.
roll with
I can
it.
actually get you to smile
Your-
now.
Yeah, your ability to just roll with it, I would say, is the way that you are very arrows out.
I got your back,
You
dude.
take what thing, you make the best of it.
That's a good one.
Yes, thank you. I know what words to use. I think.
Me paying attention to every single detail coming out of your mouth right now.
Yeah.
Are you sweating?
Yeah, you can tell. If only I had strong editing skills to just make it like all black right here.
Oh, that would be terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. So we went on. Oh, do we need to talk about siblings?
Yeah. And we will have a whole sibling episode one day.
Yes.
Sorry, Joey's
We
ear
can't-
is just tickling my back.
We can't fit all our siblings on
No.
this, so it'll just be.
No, nor do we want some of them on here, but just kidding. No, I'm not.
So rude.
There's seasons.
There is always seasons. I'm sure there's seasons where they don't want to talk to us either.
No, 100%. I'm just saying, like, I don't know. Again, keeping it.
We can always start with oldest to youngest.
Well, yeah, it's not even about that. It's more about keeping the pace or the tempo, the feel, the pulse of what we're trying to accomplish.
I get that.
And not just have them on for the sake of having them on.
I get that.
So that's what I mean. Not that I don't like our siblings. I love our siblings. It's just a time and a place. And the time has not yet come.
No, not yet. Not at all.
But having an arrows out perspective as a sibling. We're both the oldest.
Mm-hmm. Pick the right button.
The words are so small. Okay, we're both the oldest. So
We're constantly arrows out. We've been raising kids since we were kids. That's what it feels like.
I wouldn't say constantly arrows out because
Not constant.
now as an adult, a lot more so than
Yes.
as a teenager. But I was swallowing a humble pill here. I would say some of the things we may do or requests we make or whatever might not come across as the most arrows out perspective.
To them?
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. And even, yeah, it's such a, yes, there is a gray area of like intentions versus how it actually comes across and is delivered.
Yeah. It's tough though, because I don't think it comes off any differently than like a parent to a child would. So
And
that is hard for.
Yeah. And I would say, I know I'm going to get backlash for this, and I'm not perfect. Okay, let me start off there.
Yeah, he has moods, you guys.
But the times where I may be harsh or like relentless, it's because I know the standard that God has set and the potential that our family can live to. Mm-hmm. That's my perspective of living an arrows out life.
Yeah.
Is calling people up, although that doesn't always get executed
No.
directly.
No.
Yeah.
No, that's where
So-
we balance each other out because I'm the loving. I do the love, the nurture, the assisting to like take each foot up the staircase. And you're like, here's the top of the staircase. Get there.
Yeah. You see that? That's where you could
But
be.
then the person might be like, I have one leg. I need help. And you're like, I don't care.
Hop your butt up there.
Yeah. You have one leg. You can get up there.
Yeah.
And I'll be
So-
like, here, let me get you a prosthetic. I got you.
Yeah, I would say just not digging too much into all of our siblings' experiences, dramas, traumas, whatever.
Yeah.
But both of us have always, and I guess that's just the role of an older sibling.
Not always.
Okay, within our dynamic at
Yes.
least, is being that person that they can go to and feel safe.
Yeah.
And I feel like, and I love it.
We provide that for
We
sure.
provide that a lot. Like even the smallest things of like my sisters call me brother. They've called me brother forever.
And I always thought it was the cutest thing.
Yeah. So even now at 17, 22, and 26 years old,
I still call
I
you
say,
brother.
yeah, to my face. Not
Yeah.
like, oh, my brother. This brother, can you?
Yeah.
So even in text, it's funny. But a bit, brother, blah, 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 I need help with this. Or,
Is that something we're going to...
brother,
you
this happened.
think we'll call Kayla?
I don't know.
I think it'd be cute.
Yeah, but we're not going to force it.
No.
How do you, yeah.
Well, it's just a nickname, if
Yeah.
anything.
Also because my dad's name is Martin, so maybe that's why.
Oh, yeah, that could definitely be a thing.
Anyways, the fact that people feel comfortable enough to, as the older sibling, having you be their go-to for advice or, lack of better words, get out of jail free card. Like, I'm really in a pickle.
Yeah.
I need help.
Which we only have so many guys, so take it easy.
Yeah. And then on the opposite side of that, there have definitely been seasons where like we were burnt out and we could not.
We couldn't muster up much. Like we're for sure arrows in like filling our cups back up almost.
Yeah.
Which
and that
isn't
was
always bad, but
yeah, when Gianna first got here, we were like, look,
yeah. I would even say right now.
Can't play hero.
Yeah. I'd even say right now too, with being pregnant with the second, we're just like, both of us were very tired. We're working hard. We're prepping for the next kid. We know it's going to be a lot of work. We're going to rely a little bit more on them and our family more than they're going to rely on us.
Yeah, but from an intentionally pursuing them perspective, yeah, maybe that's more of a, we're not executing that piece, but our heart's posture is still a very arrows out. Like, if you need us, you might have to reach out to us.
Yeah.
We're not gonna have a pulse for like what you're going through necessarily until if you don't let us know, we don't know.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Yep. And I'm in La La Land right now for the next 7 weeks.
Let's be honest. It's probably gonna be like the next 4 months because the newborn is okay.
No. I think
You'll find out.
lack of sleep. Yeah, sure. I think I'm going to be cranky. But my hormones are like in full La La Land right now.
Got it. So that covers the sibling dynamic.
Do we want to share about Gigi's crazy dream?
Oh, family time.
Yeah.
Before we start talking about how to have an arrows out perspective as a parent or towards your parents. Oh, God.
We're labeling.
Gianna's dream. Wow. Okay. Go ahead, Mom.
So.
This is like 2-3 days ago.
Yeah, 3 days ago. So Gigi she either wakes up in a fantastic mood where you're just like get hugs and kisses galore. She listens to everything you say, or you wake up with like crazy bedhead, had a terrible dream, cranky, crying already, and we're like, oh, okay, what happened? So a couple of days ago, she woke up in the best mood. And she was so sweet, so cute. She comes out rubbing her eyes. And she's like, oh, hi, Mommy. Good morning. I was like, oh, did you have a good dream? She's like, yeah. And I was like, what did you have a dream about? She's like, dinosaurs. I was like, okay. Well, what happened with the dinosaurs? She said, I drank their blood. And Martin and I looked at each other and our jaws dropped. Like, oh my gosh, this is terrifying. Should we be concerned? The amount of things running through my head in that like quick little 30 seconds, I'm like, we have a child murderer on the loose and we need to work on this. Get back to the behavior chart. I'm like, yeah, that's a clip down. I don't know. So, and she just she's like, yeah, it was really fun. Like, and I was like, was the blood good? She's like, yeah. I'm like, oh gosh. And then the next day she had another great dream. I don't know if you were home
to tie
or not.
into the drinking dinosaur blood.
Yeah.
it's because she had watched Hotel Transylvania the night before. So
Yes.
she was like, I was blah, 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 and I drank their blood. So
Yes, because
innocent approach of,
the second day she did say she dreamt that she was a vampire from Hotel Transylvania,
yeah.
which is currently like her favorite movie for some reason, and we're not even in Halloween anymore. But yeah, that was an interesting shock to us. We like didn't know what to do.
That was the second one? Was her saying she's a vampire?
Yeah.
Oh.
She just thought she was a vampire from Hotel Transylvania.
Mm.
So she was having a blast in her dream flying around.
I'm a bat. I'm a bat. I'm a bat. Okay. So, arrows out as a parent.
Arrows out as a parent is probably one of the toughest things because you want to be so selfish at times, especially in the three-nager stage. I even Googled. I had to Google when, like, because ones and twos were honestly fine outside of like maybe tantrums here and there. But 3 and maybe even 4, I'm like, if this is where we're kind of like trajecting towards, I'm highly concerned if we're doing a good job as parents, because Gianna is just so sassy and she's talking back. She says no a lot, and just understanding that. I mean, at 3 and 4 years old, it's a tough one to understand. I'm assuming. I'm not a child psychologist by any means, but yeah, there are days where I really want to be selfish, especially at this age. And it is so tough. The other day she was having a moment and I put my headphone on. I had one headphone on one ear and I just started putting on music because I was getting overwhelmed. And I just started dancing and it kind of got her out of her mood a little bit. And then we both started dancing and I was like, okay, progress.
Yeah, that is definitely my execution of is I'm just a distraction kind of guy. Like when she's delirious, I'm like, okay, how can I distract her from what she's feeling so that I'm not going crazy?
Yeah.
But yeah, as a parent, you are a parent first, like through and through, forever. There is no once that child's there, or even before the child's there. Once you realize you're having a child, life's not about you. Nor
No.
was it about you in the beginning, but just the decisions you make are going to be different.
Yeah.
And it is a constant reminder and tester of, are you willing to put yourself second?
Yeah.
Now there's a balance of like being a disciplinarian and bringing down the hammer. But are you doing it because you don't like, again, are you truly arrows out and seeking to, what was the word I used earlier?
Edify.
Edify the other person, or are you
Reacting.
reacting and trying to change something about what they're doing so that you feel more at peace?
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, there's definitely times where I'm like, Gianna, just stop.
At least once a day.
Yeah, you have to let your kid be a kid. And that is my weakness area, definitely.
You have some strong points.
No,
in it,
definitely.
though.
I'm not just, that's the area where I'm like, stop.
I think the cautiousness of her being injured freaks you out. But when it comes to like playtime and games, you're outstanding.
Yeah, I'm all for the imagination and everything like that. But like,
I'm like, how did you come up with that?
running in the
That's very
house,
clever.
just stop. Stop. You have no reason to run the house. Or like when she wants to hop on one leg as Rana while holding Koa's leash.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Or when she keeps throwing her head back on the pillows because it's like bouncing off of it.
yeah, or jumping on the bed or stuff like that. I'm like,
Yeah.
stop. Anyways, how to have an arrows out perspective towards your parents.
Towards your parents.
If you were to rewind back to being a teenager and then as an adult towards your parents.
I feel like I always had a pretty good arrows out. even a little like too
Yeah.
much, where I was like over empathetic with a lot of things. But my parents didn't come from a lot, and they would tell me their stories. Like my dad and my grandma had to like sell chocolate bars just to like help pay for rent. And my dad would do that after school. And he worked a full-time job on top of that. And then my mom, her mom passed away from, I think it was cancer when my mom was like 16 years old, and her dad had left them and had gotten remarried and didn't take any of the kids with them. So, and they lived in it was like 7 kids in an apartment, and they all had to figure out, the oldest one had to get a full-time job and drop out of school. So it like their stories, I'm like, oh, I'm living the lavish life. So my arrows out, I was like, I'm gonna do anything I can because they have provided, they have overcome, and if I have any space to complain, I'm selfish, utterly.
Yeah, you had a good pulse of their perspective.
Yeah, absolutely. So I made sure I never disrespected my parents. I did everything that they asked, and I didn't ask any questions, and I made sure to serve them.
One day when we have mom and dad on here.
I know.
They're like, so you think that you...
I know. I was like, well, in my head, it was this.
Yeah.
No, you can ask my parents. They thought I'm a saint compared to my sisters.
There we go. That can's been opened.
They know. We talk about this a lot.
Yeah. The first child tends to be, I don't want to say the favorite, but the easier experience. Because you're also, yeah, I'm going to stop right there. From my perspective, I would say I definitely did not have a very, I don't know, good pulse on how to intentionally serve my parents. Everything that I did wasn't coming from that mindset of like, oh, they've been through this. This is what I'm going to do. Although when I was 6 years old, my dad had 3 back surgeries within a year. So seeing his physical mobility limited definitely like made me have an understanding as to why he wasn't able to do some of the things that other dads did with their kids. So I don't think I had any animosity or selfishness about that aspect of things. Mm-hmm. But I definitely was very, what's the word? Strong-headed.
You're still strong-headed.
Yeah, stubborn in the way that like I just... Okay. I'm gonna air it out here a little bit.
Okay.
So, within the small things of like, mainly towards my mom and sisters, if I felt annoyed, I vocalized it and I said stop because I'm getting annoyed. Mm-hmm. And that was a very obviously arrows in mindset. The thing with that is that I could tell the people in them that they would do that intentionally to get under my skin. So I could feel the like negativity coming from them.
Okay.
It's like, well, if you're going to be selfish and try to get underneath my skin, then I'm going to be selfish. So, and again, I'm not saying that's right. Take the hits, just let people annoy you and just move on. But I hate losing. So it was such a competitive, like, yeah. Yep.
Yeah,
Also, I feel like I have a good pulse on people's intentions.
You do.
And so when I could tell that their intentions were just a joke, my family joked around a lot. We did a lot of pranks. We did like dumping water on each other.
Yeah, you guys did. I was not used to that.
All that type of stuff didn't bother me at all. But intentionally doing things knowing that they get under my skin, no, couldn't handle it.
I'd probably be frustrated with that too.
Yeah. Like it's just not funny.
No.
Yeah. Because I'm a funny guy.
No,
I'm not.
The older you get, the funnier you do get, but
Yeah, I think that just comes with being a dad.
That just comes with not caring and being tired.
Yeah. Okay. That covers that. Yeah.
Yeah. John 17:20.
John 17:20. You said it a little bit too early because I wasn't quite ready.
Oh,
But,
sorry.
yep.
Did you have more?
No.
What
I
is that
just didn't have
voice
it.
that you're talking in?
Anyways.
Oh, and you also have to do the sound thing.
Yeah, that's at the end.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Don't. Look at me. I'm the captain now.
Sorry.
Okay. So John 17:20 says, "My prayer is not for them alone. I pray also for those who will believe in me through their message." There's a lot more. John 17 is a great chapter. But when he's saying, "I'm not only praying for them," earlier in John 17 is where Jesus prays for his disciples. And to which he then expands. And John 17 says that I'm also praying for those who will be impacted by their message. And I think that's kind of what led me to trend towards the Arrows Out talk today.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was cool that one, Jesus, led by example and prayed for others, but he's praying for people he's living everyday life with, his disciples.
Mm-hmm.
Just imagine going through life with somebody who you admire and yet realizing that he has such a heart for you that he's praying for you, or that your friend truly does have your best intentions
Right.
in mind, and that your well-being is at the forefront. Even as he's communicating with the Father, he's like, just let these people be taken care of. I want them to have the same relationship that I have with you.
Yeah.
And not only that, but even people that he honestly never met, never was going to meet, but having such a pulse for the, all of mankind,
Mm-hmm.
that he's like, and also intentionally praying for those who will be impacted by their message.
Yeah.
I just thought that was
Well, there's
very-
always something. It was always so humbling when you would hear like stories in the Bible of like how, I mean, Jesus had all this like power, right? And he was like he's obviously the Messiah, the Word, anytime he could heal people, like it was just insane. And then he has his disciples that are like probably thinking like, I can't do what he can do.
Mm-hmm.
But he's expressing like, you guys are it. And what I can do, you guys can do all through the Father too. And it's just a matter of faith. And like, he never, talk about Arrows Out, he never wanted it all for himself. He was like, I want this to be shared amongst everybody. And you guys, if you can just like tap into that, you guys can all feel that same amount of love that's going to create a big change in this world.
Yep. The ultimate Arrows Out person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And again,
like that.
just the fact that he intentionally was praying over people that he would never come across in everyday life. Like, it's different. Like, you go to bed at night, you're like, oh, I'm thinking about this person. I'll pray for their well-being. Or somebody expresses that they have situations in their life. So you're like, okay, I'll pray for you. One, don't say that if you're not actually going to pray for somebody.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that somebody I listened to on YouTube, Jamie Walden. I showed you some of this stuff before. He's a different level of like intense, but he talks about that. He's like, when people share things with me, I'm not gonna tell them I'm gonna pray for them unless I absolutely mean it. Like if I say that, I want my word to be my bond, and I'm not just saying it so that I can feel better about them thinking that I'm gonna pray for them. That was a mouthful, but I think I executed. But yeah, let your word be your word, and love those that will be impacted by the way that you love others.
Yeah, I like that.
So that is the verse of the day. So, we're going to do questions from the kids first. Dang it, the notebook's over there. Or do you want to do the guess the sound?
Let's do guess the sound.
Okay. So,
Did you have new questions in that journal?
there's probably one or two that we haven't answered yet, and we still have to do that segment anyways.
Okay.
So, while you get the notebooks, I'll pull up the video.
Okay.
First time using the sound mixer, so bear with me. Well, not first time using it, but first time having external source plugged in.
All right.
So, first things first, whether you want to close your eyes and listen or just listen.
I mean, I can't see anything, so.
Well, I wasn't sure if you saw my phone or not.
No, I didn't.
Okay. So imagine that it's pitch black and you hear this sound. 1, I want your reaction. And then 2, what sound do you think it is?
Okay.
Before moving on to the next one.
Okay.
Okay. My first question is, where am I?
What? You're outside, say, it's pitch black, and you hear that sound.
Okay. I mean, my first instinct is probably some kind of heavy machinery. I'm like, it's probably someone's car, or there's someone's like running some kind of motor or something. But if I was camping in the middle of nowhere and heard that,
It's pitch black.
I would pack up so quick
Yeah.
and get my butt in the car because that's a UFO.
Nope. What do you think that it is? It's an actual thing that makes a sound.
I don't even know. I don't even know if it's like an animal or if I know that many animals.
Aminos.
Yeah, I don't.
Wild guess. Go. If you think it's an animal, what animal is it?
I don't know. Like this sounds so dumb. If a hippo was angry,
Angry hippo.
just rah. Yeah, because I don't really know what noise a hippo makes.
Okay. Well, no, that is the sound that the sun makes.
The sun.
The sun makes sound. Well, obviously, we cannot hear it
This is in the solar system.
because of the vacuum of space. Sound cannot travel, but NASA pinpointed. Look, I'm not a science guy, but the guy explains it in the video of. So, if
Okay.
by any chance the sun went out
Yeah.
because of how far away it is and the fact that light is a lot faster than sound, we would hear that in a pitch black environment for 13 years.
That's terrifying. Why 13 years?
That's how far away 13 years, 13 months. Don't quote me on it. It's one of those 13 something, not 13 days. I know it's more than 13 days or 13 weeks, but it's called 13 months. Yeah.
Well, if the sun goes out, we're done for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So imagine hearing that.
Well, that's the ultimate like end of the world alarm.
Yep.
So I hope I never hear that again. That's a little eerie.
Here is another sound.
Gunshots. That's a monkey. That's a person.
Which one like this?
So
Here's the picture I'm getting. Someone hunting in a jungle
not far off. Nope.
and setting off gunshots.
Nope. No gunshots. I know that beginning sounded like it, but keep going.
Yeah.
Gunshots.
Jungle. I just think jungle and a bunch of monkeys.
Nope.
What?
Allegedly, those are people that were trying to find Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
And those were Sasquatch sounds. It's called the Sierra Sounds. So
It sounds like a monkey.
I know, but the like banging that you hear in the beginning was them trying to communicate amongst the two of them that were there, the two Sasquatch. And then the like mumbling that you heard was almost like them trying to mimic the humans that they heard. Like they heard the humans talking and then they tried to mimic it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, Blurry Creatures and Blurry Creatures podcast and Ninjas Are Butterflies did a lot better coverage on it. So,
Well, yeah, they do a whole like article research
they're
on
actual
it.
professionals. They take time to. I just thought that was a interesting sound.
Yeah.
And a segment to get you guessing what things sound like.
Yeah, no, it's super surprising. I'm shocked that was the sound of the sun, because I never thought the sun ever made noise. But in the Sasquatch thing, I'm like, we're in a jungle, something.
Yep.
We're in a forest.
That was in the Sierra Mountains. All right, finishing it off with questions from the kids.
All right.
I've got one.
All right, go.
Question is, why are you against vertically challenged people? So
Are you?
no, it was just, again, these are the 13-year-olds, so they're not the tallest individuals. And I was having them do chin-ups one day, and somehow I was like, and if you're vertically challenged, then use the 24-inch box to help you get up onto the pull-ups. And she's like, vertically challenged? I was like, well, yeah, I don't want to call you short, so yeah, she's like, what do you got against vertically challenged people?
Oh.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to use your body quite yet to do a full jumping motion.
Yeah.
And it's awkward.
Yeah, and I just know that you can't reach the pull-up bar, so go ahead. Got one?
What was your childhood like? Did we ever answer that one?
Maybe on like the Christmas episode or just in bits and pieces, but overall, to summarize it, no, we can answer it directly.
Okay.
You want to go first or me?
You go.
Okay. So my grandma on my dad's side would watch my cousins and I after school. So I grew up with my 3 cousins basically every day after school. The age gap was my age, 1 year younger, and 2 years older. So, yeah, just growing up with them every day after school was always the best. Yeah, lots of playtime, lots of hanging out. It wasn't until my freshman year of high school that they moved, which now as an adult is not far away, but felt like so far going from being at their house every day after school to then moving to San Marcos and only seeing them like every other weekend.
Yeah, well, when you don't drive, everything's far.
Yeah.
You don't realize the distance. I was like, man, I've never been to Vista.
Yeah. So hanging out with the cousins on weekdays, and then on weekends, every other weekend when my aunt had my other cousin on my mom's side, we would do something. Jake, that cousin, was more of the like extreme sports, the skating, the biking, the surfing, the beach, the running around the neighborhoods doing whatever, the ditching game. When we have him on here, we'll talk about the ditching game.
Yeah.
But that was that cousin. Whereas Justin, Baby, and Alexis were more of like the let's go play sports. Let's Well, Pokemon early on. Yeah. Jake was more Xbox, PlayStation, because it was, later in life. But yeah,
Nice.
lots of time with cousins.
Mine was kind of the same, mainly because we had like 20 plus cousins all at the same time, all different ages. And what I thought was always cool that our family did, because they were really big on making sure everyone stayed really close and tight knit. Every Friday night after work, we would gather at someone's house and we would do poker night with the adults, and the kids would just run amok. And we would play with everyone's toys. We would be outside. We would have the best games of hide and go seek, like hiding on the roof. And the parents were okay with it because it was family. But I remember I tried to do that one time with a neighbor, and my parents grounded me. So it's only okay with family or adults.
Like, that kid can sue us.
Yeah. Well, it was in a ghetto neighborhood, and I was caught on my neighbor's roof because we had like put a ball up there, but then we're like, oh, it's kind of cool up here. And my mom and dad pulled up and they were mad. And I was like, yeah, I'm in trouble. And I was never allowed to go over to Roxanne's house again.
Shout out Roxanne.
Shout out Roxanne.
Your roof was the best.
Yeah, but no, childhood was great. Cousins were amazing. Family was super tight. And things were simple and easy then.
Yeah, that's one of the things. And obviously we had siblings.
Yeah.
Being the oldest, taking care of them, hanging out with... I wasn't much to hang out with my siblings. But...
I mean...
Nope.
Yeah, no. It was cousins.
Yeah. But that's one of the things I ask the kids when I first get to know them and work out with them is... Do you have siblings? Are you the oldest? I could try and pinpoint whether they're the middle child, the oldest, or the baby. And then asking them and seeing how few of them actually have cousins that live close that they actually get to hang out with. And that was such just a blessing to have like, if they were still close, now they're off in, two of them in Texas, Colorado, and then Jake still lives here, but he's got his own adult life to...
Yeah, he's got a kid.
Yeah, he's got a... Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the hard parts of childhood is when your family grows up.
Yeah. I like to say we
enjoy
still
your
stay
family
close.
while you have them.
Yeah. I mean, I really enjoy the nostalgia of our generation too.
Oh yeah.
School buses,
Growing up in the late 90s, early
Spencel's.
2000s. We talked about that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
That was also great too. Well, that's all we got tonight.
Yep. Episode 8 is done. So, goodbye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for watching.